The year is 1989. Evander Holyfield is a fresh face in the heavyweight division after annihilating his competition in the realm of cruiserweights.
Well, with me, I feel that I can beat anyone. I'm a fighting machine, but I'm willing to fight anybody.
After taking out a past champion and contender in succession with Pinklin Thomas and James Quick Tillis, Holyfield, despite being small, seemed to pack a punch that could recreate Beetlejuice's infamous head spin when up against other talented heavyweights. So next up is another former heavyweight champion by the name of Michael Dokes. Will this end Evander's fear-inducing tear-up in a new division? Or will this be the next step in what feels like a Godzilla movie for the real deal as he destroys yet another foe before him? Welcome back to Boxing After Dark. Tonight, we'll be breaking down one of the greatest heavyweight battles of the late 80s, where Michael Dokes showed he still had the heart of a heavyweight champion, and Evander proved he had the heart to become a new one. Let's get into it. Evander Real Deal Holyfield's journey was one that felt like it'd been created to show boxing its new leading character, bursting into the limelight in 1984 during the Los Angeles Olympic Games, a year that is often proclaimed to have the greatest boxing Olympians of all time, with Pernell Whitaker, Meldrick Taylor, and Evander himself all having standout performances to achieve their medals. When it was finally time to turn pro, Holyfield lightened up a division that at the time was far from a head-turner. Yes, the cruiserweight division. But his knack for creating extravagant wars and loading up power shots that looked like the hand of Zeus had made a deal with Holyfield that made his bouts a must-see event. And after beating the best in his division to become the undisputed champion, he recognized it was time to break into the big leagues and fight the best of the heavyweights.
Evander, does it feel much different to you to walk into your dressing room now that you're a full heavyweight?
Well, I feel no different. I think each and every fight is important, and so it's no different.
Michael Dokes was a talent that never had the dominance of a young Evander or even a streak of wins that looked pretty in his resume. But what made up for that was Dokes' work ethic and willingness to fight the best, no matter how feared they were. His wins were respectable, but his losses were truly admirable. Knocking out Mike Weaver in the first round for the WBA heavyweight title in 1983 would lay the blueprint for another great future champion who would turn professional 1 year later by the name of Mike Tyson. And few had seen a claim to the title be so destructive since Sonny Liston annihilated Floyd Patterson over 20 years prior in the first round himself. But although Dokes, until this point, had harbored himself a disappointing defeat from Gary Coetzee due to a dangerous battle with addiction that had been plaguing him for years by this point, his dazzling hand speed and pretty-to-the-eye knockouts had far from deteriorated, and his ever-growing list of wins had begun to attract some better names from before and during his short title reign.
I don't think I'm going to have to look for Evander, and Evander is definitely not going to have to look for me. And first, second of that fight, we're going to be right there in the danger zone.
The fight arrived on the 11th of March in 1989, and as the crowd went wild for their two top fighters, the odds were in clear favor of the cruiserweight champ. While Holyfield looked mean and lean, Dokes looked bold and brazen. The two fighters touch gloves, and the bout begins.
Heavyweight champion Dokes said he's going to come right out, look for the knockout. The boxing future of two men out to show the boxing world that he is Mike Tyson's next opponent.
Shots to the body by Dokes, 2 punches to 1. In front of him, although Ludu was screaming, turn him, turn him.
Especially
The superior reflexes are evident right now because Dynamite is working hard.
Favoring Holyfield. This morning, it was 3.5 to 1. The opening round, scheduled for 12.
And he certainly has gotten that. Holyfield is just teeing off Bo's face. Dokes trying to outspeed him, but can't.
And they come out with a furious exchange to begin the second. Oh, and Dokes landed, might have been a low blow.
He wants to get him down.
He was upset, angry,
had no motion whatsoever, standing with zing, very hard punches.
Holyfield trying to prove to the boxing. Low blows again by Dokes. The voice of Ludu to the head. and those punches connected.
Now for once, all of a sudden, Dokes trying to out-jab Holyfield. Somebody's mouthpiece just fell out.
It's Dokes. It's Dokes' mouthpiece. Dokes pouring in, going to the body. Holyfield, his quickness, able to elude those punches.
The effect of those in another few rounds. He's now landing flush to the face as Dokes. Back comes Holyfield with some good shots to the head. Coming on with his early attack. Hard attack to the head of Holyfield, who's not fighting back. And has surprised Holyfield, who's taking big shots.
Combination by Dokes.
With his own attack.
That left was a grazing punch by Dokes. Dokes showing a lot of heart. Michael Dokes fighting most of this round without the mouthpiece. There was a great crush by Holyfield that landed.
Now it's Holyfield on the attack.
Round 3 sees the fight pick up in competitiveness as Dokes begins dishing up what Holyfield had been serving with his mouthguard having fallen out. The adrenaline is pumping from both ends, yet Michael Dokes showcases how it was he who was once a heavyweight champion with a myriad of hooks and jabs connecting.
Has Holyfield got a heavyweight punch? He's certainly been landing shots that Michael Dokes like those right there.
Well, so far this fight living up to reputation, it has been explosive. Go back to the jab, says the Holyfield corner. And the jab gets in.
You call a lottery punch. Just take your shot. Hitting the action. He's faster. Round. He just stands still. I think both the favorites of the crowd, and certainly by, again, a very slim margin.
This has got to be, without question, Holyfield's most difficult test.
After that severe action, what a well-conditioned athlete as Holyfield. He's taking body shots that should make him crawl around the ring.
Lou Duva, George Benton yelling,
aren't tired. In this round, good shots by Dokes. Should be using that big weight to maul and confuse and frustrate. Oh, he's gotten hurt. He's got Holyfield hurt.
He's got Holyfield in some trouble here. He landed to the face.
Holyfield went, but his legs went wobbly. He's back now, but boy, for a split second there, it looked like it was bye-bye time.
Dokes continues to use the pressure and lead uppercuts to the head, snapping Holyfield's head back. Now Holyfield turns Dokes around. Of Dokes.
Oh, good uppercut.
Dokes in the white, Holyfield in the blue. Holyfield doubling up on the jab.
This round, they said, hey, you blew that last one. Opening belt and landing on Dokes, but back comes Dokes.
Because he feels he's the bad boy of Las Vegas. He feels the judges here don't like him.
1 point away from Dokes. Very, very big in a close fight. Unfortunate. That means Dokes better win this round. It will also change his... Oh, great left hook right on the jaw of Evander Holyfield without effect. Oh,
and he comes back to Holyfield with a right cross to the head of Dokes. Evander Holyfield. Oh, a right by Dokes that sent Holyfield reeling backwards. Big wild miss by Dokes. He was going for the KO punch there. Holyfield. Job there by Dokes. Seconds of round 6. And after the bell, they continue to go at it.
After another collection of close rounds, Holyfield comes out with a look of pure, unequivocal bloodlust. After landing some fast, flashy hooks, Michael throws a blow that makes the bout a little more in favor of Holyfield as he gets a point deduction. It's now an uphill battle once again for Dynamite Dokes, and he's forced to give it his all for the rest of the bout.
It's from above his left eye. Oh, and there goes the mouthpiece of Dokes again. Holyfield trying to take advantage. But Dokes is the man punching. Dokes will not let Holyfield mount a barrage.
Dokes, he was severely hurt. He's still hurt from Holyfield. There he is, coming back with more.
But he and his manager, Marty Cohn, are used to the long odds. What an exchange there. A big shot by Holyfield who opens up. And Dokes remains on his feet. I don't know how.
I don't know why, because that tape can be dangerous.
There's another right by Holyfield. A left by Holyfield, tagging Dokes, who stays up and continues to throw punches.
Dokes are wound up from left field from the parking lot. What a round for Holyfield. So Dokes is now battling back from a point. Oh, look at Dokes go. A lot of stuff to worry about while you're trying to take care of this young kid. It'll be a 10-8 round because they took a point away
some trouble.
Takes right hand.
A twisting right by Dokes. A combination by Dokes. Holyfield comes back with a left.
A lot of guts to Holyfield because he's been hammered. And they are landing. Doesn't seem possible the two heavyweights could pound each other this way without effect.
And a right by Holyfield, followed by a right by Dokes, and then Dokes' head is snapped back off the combination. Holyfield throwing everything in his arsenal. Can they pick up where they left off? It would seem unlikely. How do you keep that pace going? Corner. Experts figure Tyson and Holyfield.
They have to rest.
Perhaps the fighters are just looking for a second win to keep it going.
The cut taken good care of in the corner. Both men are just whiling away this round.
A right by Holyfield. Holyfield in the blue. Dokes in the white. There's another right by Holyfield that landed. And Dokes comes right back.
Three legs of Michael Dokes.
Panama and on and on.
To be Holyfield's call to come in. Oh, what a shot! Dokes in trouble. Dokes in big trouble.
Michael Dokes staggered.
But fighting back.
He's
terrible shape.
And there he goes into the ropes. Holyfield looks to finish him off. Richard Steele steps in. And Dokes coming towards us. He's down.
He's out.
He's out. It's over. It's all over, says Richard Steele. Here's the setup punch. It's coming up.
And that's the one that did the damage. Even so, Dokes fought back. I mean, where in that massive chest cavity can you find a heart as big as Dokes? Even so, he was fighting back. No legs to keep him up. Nothing to absorb the punch, and he was finished. You see him? He's gone.
A war for the ages, and one of the best non-title defense fights of the 80s is finally over, and Holyfield is the victor.
Was it the toughest fight you've had?
Yes, it was. Dokes proved a lot. I figure if I go out there and make him spend a lot of punches in other round that he wouldn't be strong. But he was strong throughout the whole fight. His hand was very quick.
The Real Deal's run after this momentous fight would continue to improve from fight to fight. From his knockout victory over Buster Douglas to take Tyson's belts to his defenses against George Foreman and Larry Holmes. Evander seemed indestructible for many a year, until one fateful night against the Big Daddy himself, Riddick Bowe, came and bashed down the defensive doors of Evander Holyfield in what would lead to one of the greatest trilogies in the history of heavyweight boxing. Evander would become a champion yet again after his bouts with Tyson in another solid trilogy with John Ruiz. But the near fairy tale story of Evander's journey ultimately concluded in his opus-like performances against the baddest man on the planet.